HTML Tutorial. Chapter 4. Headings. HTML headings. Headings are important in HTML documents. Headings are defined with the H1 to H6 tags. H1 defines the most important heading, H6 defines the least important heading. This is an example of HTML headings. Search engines use the headings to index the structure and content of your web pages. Users skim your pages by its headings. It is important to use headings to show the document structure. H1 headings should be used for main headings, followed by H2 headings, then the less important H3, and so on. Note: use HTML headings for headings only. Don't use headings to make text big or bold. The HR tag defines a thematic break in an HTML page, and is most often displayed as a horizontal rule. The HR element is used to separate content, or define a change, in an HTML page. This is an example why headings are important. The HTML head element has nothing to do with HTML headings. The head element is a container for metadata. HTML metadata is data about the HTML document. Metadata is not displayed. The head element is placed between the HTML tag and the body tag. This is an example of HTML head element. HTML paragraphs. The HTML element defines a paragraph. You cannot be sure how HTML will be displayed. Large or small screens, and resized windows will create different results. With HTML, you cannot change the output by adding extra spaces or extra lines in your HTML code. The browser will remove any extra spaces and extra lines when the page is displayed. This is an example of HTML display. Most browsers will display HTML correctly even if you forget the end tag. The HTML BR element defines a line break. Use BR if you want a line break, a new line, without starting a new paragraph. This poem will display as one line. The HTML pre-element defines pre-formatted text. The text inside a pre-element is displayed in a fixed-width font, usually Courier, and it preserves both spaces and line breaks. HTML quotations. The HTML Q element defines a short quotation. Browsers usually insert quotation marks around the Q element. The HTML block quote element defines a section that is quoted from another source. Browsers usually indent block quote elements. The HTML abbreviated element defines an abbreviation or an acronym. Marking abbreviations can give useful information to browsers, translation systems and search engines. The HTML address element defines contact information, author or owner, of a document or an article. The address element is usually displayed in italic. Most browsers will add a line break before and after the element. The HTML site element defines the title of a work. Browsers usually display site elements in italic. The HTML BDO element defines bidirectional override. The BDO element is used to override the current text direction. HTML comments. Comment tags are used to insert comments in the HTML source code. You can add comments to your HTML source by using the following syntax. Notice that there is an exclamation point in the opening tag, but not in the closing tag. Note: comments are not displayed by the browser, but they can help document your HTML source code. With comments you can place notifications and reminders in your HTML. Comments are also great for debugging HTML, because you can comment out HTML lines of code, one at a time, to search for errors. You might stumble upon conditional comments in HTML. Conditional comments define some HTML tags to be executed by Internet Explorer only. HTML comments tags can also be generated by various HTML software programs. For example, Webbot bot tags wrapped inside HTML comments by FrontPage and Expression Web. As a rule, let these tags stay, to help support the software that created them.